Trust me, you and I have never seen anyone hate her family's arranged marriage this much. Before everything started, she boldly declared even if Lysander Blake stood right there wearing nothing but the morning breeze, she would not give him a single microscopic look. Well, spoiler alert everyone, I am the one and only Lysander Blake. After that epic speech, our families sat down for a nice dinner. Kyopi kept her expression freezing cold from start to finish, completely refusing to even glance in my general direction a single time. It was not until she finally strutted past me to leave that she accidentally tossed her expensive fancy coat straight onto my broad shoulders. Pumping iron at the gym is just completely and utterly useless. Even if you are ridiculously good-looking, have a perfect model physique, and flash those big sparkly eyes, I will absolutely never cave to my family and actually agree to marry you. I just looked down in silence at the incredibly modest, fully covering long pants and simple long-sleeved shirt I currently had on. Did she seriously want to hit rewind and listen to the massive contradiction she just made? Just hearing about this forced arranged marriage set up with me, Calliope had thrown multiple massive house-shaking temper tantrums back home. She roasted Uncle Sterling and Aunt Beatrice for being painfully old-fashioned, loudly arguing that in this modern age, we should definitely be fully supporting the concept of free love. Poor Uncle Sterling was stressing out so intensely his hair was turning gray. He told her she had not even met Lysander yet. How could she know? Now watch closely, you and I know Calliope hated being pushed around more than anything. Did they honestly think a single meeting would magically make her fall for him? They only ever took the outsider's side. Thanks to this total mess, she had dramatically run away from her house and faked weird, mysterious sicknesses on multiple different highly dramatic occasions. Her sisters and friends all tried giving her advice, saying nobody can ever truly escape this arranged marriage business. They told Calliope to just accept her tragic destiny. Sitting right in the middle of the VIP room, she slammed her hand down in total, pure frustration. Accept her fate. What ridiculous fate. Even if Lysander Blake stood totally naked right there, she swore she would never give him a single microscopic tiny glance. Everyone close to Calliope knew she was a totally wild, free spirit who absolutely hated being controlled regardless of what her future husband's face or actual personality was really like. The entire concept of marriage to Calliope was just a massive, completely undeniable no. She seriously questioned what kind of mind control soup Lysander fed her parents to make them constantly brainwash her, always hyping up how great and incredibly perfect he supposedly was. They acted like there was not a single better or more outstanding guy in this entire massive world. Right after saying that, Calliope randomly glanced up and completely unexpectedly locked direct eye contact with me while I was just casually walking past. My fingers gripping a wine glass completely froze midair. The tips of her ears turned bright tomato red as she suddenly let out a super awkward little cough. She mumbled that I looked way better than her fiancé. Fun fact, this super high-end club was actually my own personal property. Whenever things were not insanely busy over at the company, I would usually come down to this club to just sit and chill out. Kyopi and her glamorous, wealthy squad hung out here frequently. We both know what you are thinking, right? But honestly, since I had already seen her around so many times, I never actually had any major objections to this whole arranged marriage setup. First of all, the Sterling family had insane wealth and a massive empire, plus Uncle Sterling and Aunt Beatrice had always treated me really, truly wonderfully. Secondly, even though Kyopi was a filthy rich heiress, she was raised super strictly, never getting dragged into the toxic habits of those typical spoiled rich kids. Plus, looking incredibly gorgeous is always a massive, undeniable bonus. Every time Kyopi walked into my club, the nightly revenue would instantly smash another major record. With all my friends constantly hyping her up around me, I naturally started paying close attention to her. That devastating face, those perfect eyebrows, and the tiny beauty mark under her eye simply cranked her natural charm to 11. Looking around the entire bustling club, she was easily the most striking person there. Suddenly, someone asked for my social media contact. I turned around and a glass of wine was practically shoved at me. Standing right there was the slightly overly eager, incredibly bold face of a totally strange older woman. I took just one look at that wine's color. Something was definitely super off about it. Whipping out my phone to text my manager, I coldly replied that I do not give out my contact using absolutely 0 degrees of warmth. The woman suddenly grabbed my wrist, telling me to stop playing hard to get because she had watched me forever. She claimed I was here daily just hunting for a wealthy sugar mama, bragging that she had absolute loads of cash. Pure disgust hit me. Just as I was about to drop my true identity, an icy voice echoed. And trust me, you and I need to see what happens next. Are your ears broken? Did you not hear him say absolutely no contact? Let's dive right into this romantic chaos. Calip stood near me, judging the strange woman with laser eyes. Calliope's squad of friends quickly swaggered over too. The girls standing beside that strange woman started panicking instantly. That is the Sterling family's eldest daughter. We absolutely cannot mess with her. They finally realized it was the legendary Calliope. The strange woman's face shifted colors faster than a stoplight. Oh, so it is Miss Sterling. If he is the guy you want, I obviously would never dare to compete. Got my eyes on him. Her voice dropped extremely low, practically dripping with intense, aggressive pressure. She was already nursing a massive, fiery rage over her arranged marriage, having nowhere to vent it out. This foolish lady was basically speedrunning toward her own ruin. I quickly waved my hand, calling Barnaby, the staff member, over to handle this absolute mess. Meanwhile, her friends instantly rushed in to hold her back. I heard this club's boss is totally not someone you want to mess with either. Just let them handle it. Exactly, Calliope. If Uncle Sterling finds out you caused another massive scene right before the engagement, he will probably lock you away. Now watch closely. Right at that wild moment, my phone and Kippy's phone started ringing in perfect sync. Spotting the caller ID, I found a quiet corner for the call. Lander. Dear Uncle Sterling and the entire gang are throwing a massive family dinner right now. Mom will send you the location right away. Is Kippy going too? I glanced over at the deeply frowning woman taking her angry call a short distance away. Yep. You two should definitely take this chance to get to know each other better. After hanging up my phone, I quietly strolled past Calliope. Listening to her putting up a desperately angry verbal fight, I was instantly reminded of my own spicy little kitten getting dragged to the vet. Lots of loud, dramatic meows, but absolutely zero real claws. Because even until this very exact second, she was still grumbling and cursing while storming right out of the club heading to that same dinner. 7 p.m., when I arrived at the private dining room, the Sterling family members were already completely assembled. Calliope was still mid-argument fighting for her life. I seriously do not deserve Lysander. Reason 1, I already have someone I like. It was pure love at first sight. Reason 2, it is the handsome guy I just met at the club. The moment I saw him, I knew if it's not him in this lifetime, I'm not marrying anyone, Dad. Just as Uncle Sterling angrily grabbed the soup ladle, fully prepared to give her a light bonk on the head, I pushed the door wide open and walked inside. The atmosphere instantly flatlined into absolute dead silence. Calliope's eyes locked onto me, freezing in sheer absolute shock, as if she had just summoned a literal demon by speaking its name out loud. The very next second, Uncle Sterling put that weaponized soup ladle down, his whole face softening as he happily called out, Lander, come sit down and eat. You must be totally starving after working so late. Right, I gave a polite nod, pulled out the chair geographically farthest away from Koopy, and calmly sat down. Aunt Beatrice side-eyed Koopy's utterly dumbfounded expression, then asked her, now that you've seen Lysander in the flesh, do you still think your dad and I were just exaggerating? I know what you are thinking. Still, it took Calliope a solid minute to unglue her eyes, stubbornly declaring that even if he is handsome, she absolutely will never accept an arranged marriage. Calliope let out a tiny dramatic humph, but her eyes kept doing sneaky little hit-and-run glances in my direction anyway. Auntie, Uncle, these are the special gifts I brought for you. I pulled the gifts out of my bag and handed them over. This stunning necklace Auntie remembers. This is a super rare piece, almost completely impossible to find, right? And this jade carving, Uncle has been dreaming about this forever. I went to so many different auctions and never even saw it. Oh, Lysander, how on earth did you manage to buy these? As long as you both like them, that is all that truly matters. The entire family dinner went surprisingly smoothly. Only Calliope kept a face as icy as the Arctic from beginning to end, lips pressed tightly together, stubbornly refusing to give me a single direct look. When it was time to leave, Uncle Sterling told Calliope to see me out. No need for that, my driver is already waiting. The very next second, Calliope shot up from her chair and marched toward the door, casually snatching my bag along the way. I will drive you. Calliope rolled down the car window, making the temperature inside drop. Out of reflex, I just tugged at my sleeves. Calliope instantly chucked her own jacket right at me. Afraid of the cold, but wearing so little, sometimes I really just want to duct tape someone's mouth completely shut. Callie shot me a very quick glare, then frantically looked away. Even if you have big eyes, a great body, look super handsome, and have a nice personality. I am still not marrying you. When I stepped out of the car, I politely tried to hand her jacket back. Kyopi just swatted my hand away. You're dressed so thin if you catch a bad cold, my parents will absolutely nag me crazy. She shoved the jacket into my chest and sped away. Trust me, you will want more. Stick with me here. I stared down at my perfectly fine, completely unchanged, long-sleeved outfit. Then I watched Kyopi's car vanish into the distance at the speed of light. Does she truly never listen to the ridiculous things coming out of her own mouth? So I heard you met Lander. Is he really as handsome as the legends say? Kyopi, hurry up and spill the tea. We are completely dying of curiosity. Tell us so we know how to help you. If you genuinely dislike him, we are pooling our money together to fund your runaway escape plan. I have saved up quite a bit of pocket money lately. I will give everything to you. Kyopi Coop's heart was a tangled mess of chaotic yarn. Late at night, she dragged her squad of girlfriends to my club to drink. Thad was hanging there too. He and Kyopi were total childhood besties. They grew up totally carefree together, and everyone basically assumed them getting together was only a matter of time. Then suddenly, boom news dropped that Calliope was officially getting engaged to me. Thaddeus was totally salty about it, but seeing Kyopi's tortured expression made his fragile ego feel slightly better. Someone told me Kyopi last time I checked a major client of the Blake family met him once and immediately started chasing him. She chased him for 3 whole years and is still hopelessly obsessed. Rumor has it he is breathtakingly handsome. Is that just a massive exaggeration or what? Hearing this seriously grated on Thaddeus's nerves. Kip would never be into those overly dominant, ruthless types anyway. She definitely prefers sweet, mild-mannered guys. Besides, it is not like the world has any shortage of handsome men. Watch this closely, guys. Like that are everywhere, right? But Calliope, who had been dead silent, suddenly spoke up and completely cut him off. Finding someone as drop-dead gorgeous as him is actually incredibly rare. Kyopi then shot Thaddeus a brutal side-eye. He is way better looking than you. Thaddeus's mouth twitched. His face looked incredibly awkward. The others were super curious. So Kyopi, are you seriously planning to just go with the flow and completely accept it? As if Kyopi furiously reacted like someone stepped on her tail. I am not going to start sucking up to him every single day just because he has a pretty face like my mom wants me to do. Absolutely not. Kyopi angrily chugged a glass of wine, slapped the bill money onto the table, and stormed right off. Right at that exact moment, I had just finished discussing business with the club manager in the room next door. Stepping out, I coincidentally bumped into Thaddeus, who was marching straight toward me. What a completely wild coincidence. Kallip was just here. I heard you two finally met face to face. She literally said that after seeing you once, she hopes she never ever has to lay eyes on you again. Leonard, we are all seriously super curious. What on earth did you do to traumatize Kyopi to that crazy extent I simply let out a soft chuckle? She never wants to see me again. Well, I am afraid her dearest wish is about to be brutally crushed. Uncle Sterling just perfectly arranged for her to start working at my company. For the foreseeable future, she is practically forced to bump into my face every single day. Lysander, do not go thinking that just because you successfully sweet-talked the Sterling family into this marriage, you can sleep soundly at night. Do you have any clue how much Kallip despises you? What is even the point of a marriage like this? I pondered for a second. She hates me, and I am not exactly swooning over her either. I would say that makes us perfectly even. The exact moment those bold words left my mouth, I turned around and got jump-scared by the woman standing right behind me. Kyopi, why did you suddenly turn back? Kyopi's friends noticed her expression was looking a little weird. Kyopi kept a completely straight face. Forgot my stuff. Penelope darted her eyes between me and Kalipi, her face glowing with absolutely premium gossip. Pure curiosity. OMG, Kalipi, isn't this the icy god you heroically faced this afternoon? Let's pause here. The way you look at him is not exactly innocent. Kippy's intense glare looked ready to commit a felony. Get lost. Thad suddenly burst out laughing. Lysander, you still have not told them who you are. Penelope's pupils underwent a totally massive earthquake. Lysander, no way, brother-in-law. Thad shot her a lethal glare, reminding Penelope they are not even officially together yet. Penelope instantly zipped her lips, then added, Brother Lysander, please do not feel bad. Kyopi not liking you is seriously not your fault at all. Kali really does not like any other men besides you either. Wait, no, she literally only hangs out with us girls every single day. The more she spoke, the significantly weirder it sounded. A bundle of keys in Kyopi's hand went flying straight at Penelope. She angrily growled, Shut your mouth! I quickly glanced at my watch. I have things to do. I will take my leave now. My foot barely stepped out the door when Kyopi's squad immediately started brainstorming wild escape strategies for her. I do not think Lysander is that into you either. Option 1, Kyopi. If you want to break off the engagement, there is definitely a way. Option 2, I am just not sure the Blake family would actually respect our Lark family. Wild right. Blame my grandpa for not working hard enough to build a bigger empire. Maybe if he tried harder, we'd actually be equals. Hey, Coop-Up, where are you going? Stick with me here. I was waiting at the corner for my driver Higgins, but guess what? His daughter Clementine totally surprised me and showed up instead. She hopped out of the car cheerfully holding the absolute cutest little cake ever. I was just in the neighborhood. Mom got busy with Aunt Agatha last minute. Brother Lysander, I brought you a sweet little cake. Clementine happily wiggled the adorable treat. I jumped in chatting and laughing cheerfully as we drove away, completely oblivious that someone stood frozen outside the club watching us intently until our car entirely vanished from their sight before finally leaving. The very next morning, Clementine cheerfully drove me right to work. Dad has errands lately, so I'm driving. The second I stepped out, my assistant Poppy literally came sprinting over to me. Boss, Lysander Jr., CEO Sterling is already here. I frowned slightly. She was super early. Inside that meeting room, a woman leaned back in her chair, casually tapping her fingers against her knee. Judging by her relaxed posture, she had obviously been waiting quite a while. Gone were her comfy, baggy club outfits. She was now absolutely rocking a perfectly tailored, ultra-expensive, stunning designer dress. Now watch closely. Her whole vibe transformed, radiating cold, authoritative, and undeniable boss energy. I walked in hearing Uncle Sterling say she'd arrive in 2 days. Seeing me, Calliope totally froze. Her sharp eyes shifted toward Clementine right behind me, suddenly asking a very abrupt question. Is this your new driver? I thought for a second. Not exactly. Sticking to our schedule, I briefly introduced her role to Calliope. Leaving, I heard her ask Poppy, does Junior CEO Blake always dress like this? Poppy answered with pure, innocent pride. Absolutely. Boss Lysander has top-tier visuals and a god-tier physique, the ultimate catch. Calliope's mouth twitched violently. That evening, I attended an incredibly high-stakes business dinner with both the Huxley and Alaric families. This dinner was essentially a fierce battlefield to win Northern land and test exactly how these powerful families felt about the growing Blake Corporation. The Huxley family and our company had honestly never clicked. You and I both know they were definitely plotting to make things incredibly difficult. Playing it safe, I told Clementine to wait at the front gate at exactly 9 p.m. for extraction. Inside, I waited an entire hour before Mr. Huxley and Mr. Alaric finally rushed in. Alaric flashed a totally fake plastic smile. Lysander, I totally forgot about that land plot. Your Uncle Huxley and I already ironed out all the fine details. Why not head home early? We wouldn't want your mother worrying. I slid the proposal across the table while Mr. Alaric gave it a dismissive half-second glance. Lysander, speaking of hierarchy, you should technically call me uncle. I heard you're marrying into the Sterling family. Stop meddling in these messy business affairs. Hurry up and secure the family bloodline for the Blakes. Now that is the most important thing, right? I smiled. Uncle Alaric, fascinating jokes, but don't trouble yourself with my family's internal affairs. He patted my shoulder. Lysander, I'll be straight. This piece of land means absolutely nothing to Huxley. But since you upset Thaddeus as his father, I must naturally claw back dignity. A waiter brought red wine. He grabbed the bottle, shoving it toward me. Tell you what, us elders should give you youngsters a chance. If you can down this entire bottle, your Uncle Huxley and I will cut you some major slack this once. The bottle's seal clearly showed signs of tampering. These 3 bottles were already popped open. Dad, you don't need to step up. I'll take back my own dignity with my own 2 hands. Thaddeus burst inside, grabbed a wine glass, and splashed it straight at me. Red wine soaked my suit, dripping right down my leg. Thaddeus, what are you doing? Huxley frowned. I said stay out of business matters. Dad, Lysander is here. Why can't I be? He runs a company, why don't I get a say? Thaddeus suddenly charged right up and shoved me. Getting close, he suddenly dropped his voice to a whisper. Don't drink that bottle, it's spiked. Mr. Huxley ordered his men to drag Thaddeus out. Alaric wasn't letting me walk. I checked my watch. 3 seconds to 9 p.m., 2-1 slams. The door violently smashed open. I frowned. Trust me, you are going to want to see this. Let's dive into this. Why was Kalupi here? Her eyes were absolute ice, sweeping over the 2 older men with pure, suffocating intimidation. Her presence totally crushed theirs. Mr. Huxley and Mr. Eric were completely frozen for a second, their faces instantly tightening up. Didn't everyone say Kulip was fiercely against this whole marriage? What on earth was happening? She grabbed the pearl-colored shawl from her arm and gently tossed it right over my shoulders. The Huxley and Eric families making things this tough for my fiancé. Are you seriously trying to spark a war with the Blake and Sterling families? After hopping into the car, Kulip didn't immediately hit the gas. She suddenly bent down and grabbed my ankle. Her fingertips were absolutely freezing. She whispered, "Don't move." Kulip yanked out some tissues and started fiercely wiping those red wine stains right off the top of my foot. The recent team-ups between the Huxley and Alaric families involve way more than just this stuff. You simply cannot learn all their sneaky little tricks. I just stared out the window using that freezing night wind to try and stay completely awake. I knew my mom was sick, and if I couldn't hold the Blake family empire together, the Blake family would get swallowed entirely by those two families, or maybe the Sterlings. Keop's beautiful eyebrows immediately pulled together. If you knew all that, why did you walk into the lion's den all alone? I had it planned out. I just genuinely didn't expect you to appear. Watch closely here, things are shifting. If I remember right, wasn't Clementine on duty? My mom planted me in the Blake company specifically to help you. Whatever needs doing, you can just dump it all on me. Clay paused for a super long time before adding, "Lander, we have a marriage pact. I don't know if we can make it. Let's just go." My mom called us back for dinner. I leaned back against Kalobi's car seat, feeling a really heavy wave of pure exhaustion crashing over me. Just as I reached out to close the window, the woman in the driver's seat had magically already rolled the glass straight up. I leaned slightly toward her direction and slowly closed my eyes. Every now and then I heard her soft breathing right next to my ear. Peeking open one eye, I saw her ears were burning bright red. I just pretended I was completely blind to it. I let my body tilt a tiny fraction closer to Calliope, eventually arriving at the Sterling mansion. As I got out of the car, Calliope caught a quick glimpse of my pained expression and immediately asked what was wrong. I replied completely helplessly. My leg fell asleep. The very next second, Calliope flung the car door open and threw my arm directly over her shoulder to support me. The butler and the elders of both families just happened to walk out at that exact moment. "Xander, I heard Huxley and Eric openly targeted you today. They're getting awfully impatient now. Back in the day when our Sterling family hit a serious rough patch, only your Blake family actually stepped up to help us. This time the Sterling family will put absolutely everything on the line to back you up." The two families chatted about corporate warfare for a bit. You know where this is going, right? Once that wrapped up, the topic swerved straight to me and Kopi. "Lysander, why not just stay here? Auntie just finished up redecorating a guest room not too long ago. Her hospitality was honestly impossible to refuse. Even the room itself was decorated exactly to my personal aesthetic taste. You could easily tell she put serious effort into it." Aunt Beatrice smiled and continued, "Tonight your Uncle Sterling and I are going for a stroll. If you need anything at all, just bark orders at Calliope. Don't let her aloof face fool you. She's actually more detail-oriented than anyone else here." "Thank you, Auntie." The entire second floor only housed my room and Keop's. Keop's door was shut completely tight. She wouldn't happen to be in the bathroom, would she? I grabbed my change of clothes and gently pushed the bathroom door. It wasn't locked at all. One push and it swung wide open. A thick cloud of steam blasted me right in the face. Calliope had just stepped out of the shower, her body wrapped in nothing but a fluffy towel. Droplets of water were still clinging to her dark hair. That flawless, statue-like face also had a few rogue water drops slowly sliding down it. Her crystal-clear eyes glared at me with a strong hint of dramatic outrage. The whole bathroom smelled aggressively like Calliope soaked in her fresh body wash scent. I nervously blurted, "I had no idea you were in here." My entire body suddenly felt degrees hotter and my throat went a little scratchy. I quickly spun right around to abort the mission and escape. Calliope suddenly grabbed my wrist. "You need to use the bathroom." That absurdly beautiful face was literally less than an inch away from mine. "Looks like there isn't any extra body wash or shampoo in here. Sorry to bother you, but you will just have to make do with mine." Back in her room, Calliope whipped out her phone, stared at it intensely for ages before finally texting Penelope. "Last time, how exactly did you get that guy's contact info?" Penelope instantly called her right back. "Oh my gosh, Calliope, whose contact info are you getting?" "That's where we leave it. Will she finally make the first moves?" "All right, jump in with me." "If some stranger tries this, won't your brother-in-law absolutely snap?" Calliope was beyond annoyed, having zero patience for Penelope. Just tell me how you pulled it off. Look, when you go shopping, just offer to buy his drinks. Keep it super casual, chat him up, and let nature take over. Easy enough. Penelope was totally ready to dig for juicy gossip, but the line just went dead. Meanwhile, Calliope suddenly gets a call from two super nosy elders ready to heavily interfere. My dearest daughter, are you actually grabbing this golden chance? Just look at your stunning self. The only things making Lysander look twice are your beautiful face and figure. You really need to use your best weapons. Got it. Mom heard a massive army of girls is currently chasing after Lysander. Even with our marriage alliance going public, his fan club is huge. You better put in some serious effort right now. Hear me? The more Calliope thought about this nonsense, the madder she got slamming the phone down. Mrs. Sterling was confused. Why isn't this girl throwing a massive tantrum today? Did the sun rise backward? After showering, I walked out and bumped right into Calliope leaning against the cold wall outside the bathroom. Her slender fingers were frantically typing away on her glowing screen. Seeing me, she instantly locked her phone. My dad says I should drive you for groceries. I waved it off. Seriously, no need. You guys are way too kind. Watch closely now. She was not leaving. Auntie definitely forced her to apply some serious pressure. Fine then. Let me grab some clothes. I tossed on a gray hoodie and sweatpants. Wild coincidence. Calliope was wearing the exact same gray combo. We basically looked like a matching couple, not just the outfits. Even the fresh scent radiating off both of us matched perfectly. Let's roll. Calliope casually snatched my bag right from my hand. The mall was small. We wandered around a bit, only grabbing basic toothbrushes, some aroma diffusers, and totally random toiletries. Oh, and one massive, ridiculously huge hugging pillow that Calliope absolutely demanded, which I was currently carrying. Seriously, every single time we hit the register, Calliope aggressively fought me to pay up. It really wasn't a lot of cash. I sighed. Guess I will just transfer it later. I cannot stay at your place and make you pay for my things. Deal. Calliope tapped her phone for a second, then forcefully shoved her social media code right into my surprised face. Add me. At that exact second, a text notification suddenly popped up on her bright screen. So, did you secure that guy's number? You see that panic, right? Before I could even read it, she swiped it into oblivion. After sending the money, I looked up and spotted two incredibly familiar figures acting goofy, totally glued together like sticky bubblegum. Baby, I missed you so much, Manhwa. I let out a polite, super awkward cough. Thaddeus frowned. Penelope. They both finally spotted us. What are you two doing here? Thaddeus asked. Ever since meeting me, he knew the situation with Calliope was a completely done deal. I mean, Penelope spent hours consoling his broken heart. They drank, chatted, kissed, and finally locked their official relationship status in. Honestly, I never liked Calliope that much. It was mostly just because her pretty face was undeniably stunning. But seeing her now, Penelope is a total catch. I watched them stare lovingly and smile away. I haven't even said thank you for last night. Thaddeus lifted his chin. Even though I absolutely despise you, I stopped my dad from making a huge mistake with Mr. Eric. I can pull some strings since our families have history, but the Eric family complete wild cards in this crazy game. They will totally keep hunting you. Thaddeus suddenly changed his tone. I heard about Calliope. Absolute legendary stuff. I think this is the perfect chance for Calliope to show us the power of love. Before she could even say a single word, Calliope and Penelope had walked right over. Hubby, are you done talking? Let's go home. The second Penelope laid eyes on Thaddeus. Her tiny eyes instantly shifted into massive, sparkling puppy dog eyes, totally shining and full of life. Lysander, why win? She is way more proactive. Trust me. You and I are definitely coming back for more madness. Babe, I got you a huge pile of oysters to boost your energy. Let's dive right in. My face instantly heated up, and I awkwardly glanced over at Calliope standing right there. My mind completely blanked, aggressively flashing back to her shadowy silhouette in the bathroom earlier. Oh, right. How did you know about the Eric family's dirty secrets, hubby? Did you seriously think I was just some useless rich princess who never learned a thing? Calliope realized what she just blurted out, instantly melting from total embarrassment, performing about 800 micro-movements in 1 second. I totally caught the stupid from Penelope and her ridiculous crew. Yeah, I figured. Back home, I finally got Clementine on the line, and she was absolutely sobbing her eyes out. Brother Lysander, I finally have a signal. Calliope dumped me in the absolute middle of nowhere. She told me she would personally go pick you up instead. I thought I could just tough it out for a bit. Who knew she would literally force someone to drive me up a mountain zero-cell service I just barely escaped back to civilization? I did not ruin your plans, did I, Brother Lysander? If my mom finds out I am finished, why didn't you say anything earlier? I chuckled quietly to myself. Just get some really good rest. Hanging up, I immediately opened my chat window with Calliope. She still had not accepted the money transfer. Just as my fingers hovered to type a brand new message suddenly popped up in the chat. Calliope, are you asleep? I transferred the money. Don't forget to accept it. Calliope. What time are you heading to work tomorrow? I can drive you. I really thought about it. No need. Clementine is picking me up. Calliope, what about lunch? I know this truly amazing restaurant right near your office. I typed back. I have meetings straight through lunch, probably just grabbing a sad sandwich. Message sent. Calliope did not send anything back for absolute ages. I put my phone down, turning off the lights. Good night. Calliope was tossing and turning in bed, battling major insomnia. She grabbed her phone and texted Penelope. How did you and Thaddeus get together so ridiculously fast? Meanwhile, in the middle of the night, Penelope was wearing an apron scrubbing laundry outside. She wiped the soapy water off her hands and replied to Calliope, What is entirely wrong? Is this not completely normal? We liked each other, so we got together. Calliope went entirely silent for a moment. You and I both know Thaddeus deserves to hear she has a dozen backup guys on standby. Penelope frantically speed-typed back her fingers, practically catching fire. We are sisters. Why must you hurt my feelings like this? Calliope, I will share my top-secret 10-year masterclass guide on chasing boys. Just please do not tell Thaddeus. Deal? 10 years of experience. Let us hear it. Send it over. The next morning, Calliope sent me a text saying she would arrive at the company a little late. Calliope still had not shown up. Instead, the truly villainous Mr. Eric suddenly arrived. He showed up slightly faster than I expected. My mole planted inside the Eric Corporation had not even prepared to pull the final net yet. The absolute second the meeting room door clicked shut, Mr. Eric instantly flipped his attitude like a pancake. Lysander, Uncle Eric is so sorry. I really should not have made things so incredibly difficult for you last night, Mr. Eric. That plot of land, if the Blake Corporation wants it, the Eric Corporation is more than happy to completely step aside. Now pay attention here. His attitude did a total 180 spin fast enough to cause whiplash. What do you really want? He stuttered multiple times, hesitating like a broken record. Finally, he just spat it right out. Can you please let my daughter go? Was not his daughter supposedly living her best life abroad? Right on cue. Calliope's distinctly chill voice echoed straight from the meeting room door. Mr. Eric, your precious daughter has already skipped merrily down the absolute path of federal crimes. Even if a miracle happened, nobody could save her now. Calliope, do not push this too far. Mr. Eric, if you have free time to waste standing around here, you had better go find your daughter. The Blake and Sterling families are not something you can just swallow whole. Mr. Eric was so furious his legs practically gave out on the spot. Me, I had indeed heard some whispers about the wild, dirty deeds the Eric family was up to. But lately, the Blake Corporation had been drowning in work, lacking both the time and manpower to properly investigate everything. I truly did not expect Calliope to know all the juicy details and actually handle the entire mess for me, Calliope Lysander. Someone always has to do the dirty work of digging up that filthy laundry, right? That guy is extremely sloppy with his cleanup. Finding his weak spots was basically child's play. That location was a solid 5-hour drive from City C. For Calliope to make it back by this exact time, it meant she must have hit the road in the middle of the night. I will have Poppy buy you some lunch, she just waved. That is where we leave it, guys. She needed to catch up on her beauty sleep. I will come pick you up for dinner tonight. Stick with me here because after that legendary day, everyone from the office staff to the building janitors aggressively gossiped about my impending wedding with Calliope. Who was the absolute idiot claiming the Sterling heiress looked down on junior CEO Blake? I swear she is literally following him around like a lost puppy every single day. They are an absolute power couple. Today, I even spotted junior CEO Sterling delivering a cute lunchbox to Blake. My freezing cold heart literally melted away. I was grinning like a proud auntie all day because the gossip was simply too spicy. They secretly created a group chat. Every single day, they uploaded the newest paparazzi-style photos of Calliope and me. But a week later, some absolute madman accidentally added Calliope to the group. Someone recognized Calliope's profile and the entire chat instantly flatlined into pure terror. Everyone practically evaporated right into thin air. The next second, Calliope dropped a massive digital red envelope into the chat. 20,000. Not bad at all. Could whoever took these send me the original files? Thanks. In the blink of an eye, the group chat exploded with messages again. Calliope was even promoted to group admin because she acted so incredibly chill and completely approachable. Many coworkers started directly begging her for the inside scoop. Junior CEO Sterling boss Lysander is literally perfectly flawless in every way. Now pay attention here. Why reject the marriage initially? The very next second, the brave soul who asked was violently kicked straight out of the group. Calliope declared, "We only talk about Lysander's absolute perfection here. Do not bring up the profoundly stupid things I did in the past." These past few days, Calliope had been stubbornly coming to the office with me every day. If I wore a black suit, she magically swapped into a black dress. If I wore a crisp white shirt, she mysteriously changed into a white blouse. Honestly, it made for incredibly aesthetically pleasing photos. Every single day, a brand new gift magically spawned on my desk. If it was not the newest luxury jewelry, it was a high-end watch. Every single time, I just shoved them into my desk drawer. During lunch, Calliope's eyes darted to my bare wrist and the corners of her eyes instantly drooped like a sad puppy. I calmly explained I am just not used to wearing all that flashy stuff. Then I watched as Calliope stubbornly unbuckled her own luxury watch, shoving it into her pocket. Yeah, honestly, I absolutely hate wearing them too. I had previously told Aunt Beatrice I was only crashing at the Sterling mansion for 2 weeks. Now the time limit was officially up. I quickly packed my stuff to head home. Calliope walked me downstairs, then suddenly asked Lysander, "Can I still come pick you up for work tomorrow? Our houses are pretty far apart. I can just have driver Higgins take me." "It is fine." Calliope stared at the floor. She looked exactly like a tragically abandoned golden retriever. I suddenly felt a pang of guilt and gently asked her, "Do you want to come upstairs and pet my cat?" Calliope's eyes practically shot laser beams of joy, but she faked being super reserved. "Lysander, it is getting so late. Would I not be bothering your parents?" "No, it is totally fine." Calliope frantically whipped out her phone to send an SOS text, furiously typing away. "First time going to the boyfriend's house. What do I need to prepare?" Penelope responded, "What? You are going to his house already. Has he finally realized your true intentions?" Penelope furiously typed. "Let that sink in. Run to the nearest store, buy condoms, stat." Calliope, do not listen. Take it slow. Start with a polite kiss. Do not scare him off. He is a delicate flower. Calliope thought about it for a second. "You make a valid point." I noticed Calliope was lagging behind and asked her, "Did you get busy with something?" "Nope." Calliope instantly shoved her phone into her pocket and jogged to catch up. "Oh wow, you actually do have a cat," she exclaimed. "Cute, isn't he?" "Ah yeah," Calliope gave Lord Wigglebottom the absolute most half-hearted dismissive pat ever. Lord Wigglebottom clearly felt highly disrespected and meowed indignantly at her a few times. I stepped forward, scooped Wigglebottom up, cooed at him, and gave him a kiss. As my eyes drifted, I suddenly noticed that the top button of Calliope's shirt had mysteriously popped open. At some point, the collar was perfectly parted, revealing her elegant collarbones and some very distracting subtle curves playing hide-and-seek. Right at that incredibly awkward moment, my parents walked in from their evening stroll. "Oh, Calliope is here." "Lysander, you did not even give us a heads up." Calliope stealthily buttoned her shirt back up. "Auntie, Uncle, I just drove Lysander home. It is getting late. I really should be heading back now." The very next second, her silhouette completely vanished right out the front door. Back at the club, Calliope had once again kidnapped her squad of girlfriends. "Sister Calliope, why the long face? Do not tell me you still have not conquered him." Penelope shrieked, "Impossible. You and I gotta see this manual. Stick with me here. How could this fail? Any normal guy would surrender." Collab shot back a glare colder than ice. "Lysander is definitely no ordinary guy." Penelope hummed softly. "Did you post those gorgeous photos on your story exactly like I instructed?" "Yep." "Penelope, you posted them and he still refused to leave a like." "Then just pretend to be tipsy and call him to pick you up." "I did," Calliope groaned loudly. "I tried that trick. He showed up but then literally just told his personal driver to take me straight home." Penelope smirked. "What about our ultimate move? Send a cute confession text and immediately unsend it." "Did you try?" Kippy nodded. "I unsent it. He literally texted back saying he missed the message." Penelope gasped. "Is it possible that your handsome husband seriously has absolutely zero romantic desire for you? Everyone else thought their ears were broken. This was their Calliope. The confident woman who looked down on the very concept of chasing guys more than anyone else on earth. How did she suddenly turn into this hilarious tragedy? Sister Kopi? Is it possible your legendary charm simply expired? I feel like nobody has asked for your number recently. What kind of freakishly high standards does your handsome husband even have these days? His taste must be astronomical. If he does not even like someone as flawless as Sister Calliope, what are we supposed to do now? Penelope brainstormed intensely. Girls, I have one final nuclear option left. It is forced romance, since you cannot escape the arranged marriage anyway. Feelings are like a forced ripe melon. You only realize it is sweet after taking a massive bite. Penelope, your handsome brother-in-law simply needs a tiny little test drive to fully understand the sheer irresistible and undeniable charm of our amazing call-app. Now pay attention here. We call and say you're tipsy. Then you just grab him and plant a massive kiss. Listen closely, Penelope. As long as he does not physically push you away, we can consider it a legendary victory. Caleb grabbed the door handle, fully ready to storm out for more drinks. And I just happened to be walking past outside. Our eyes instantly locked. Calliope frantically tried to rationalize the situation. Am I tipsy? Why am I suddenly hallucinating my own husband Penelope, and the squad quietly peeked out the door scanning the empty hallway? He is not here, Sister Clay. You are literally hallucinating from love sickness 10 minutes later through Penelope's phone. Brother-in-law Kiop is totally wasted. Could you please swing by the club and pick her up? I received Penelope's distress call, pushed the private room door wide open, and the entire crowd inside just stood there staring incredibly awkwardly at me. Oh my goodness, Lysander, you literally teleported. Penelope perfectly remembered the script, then quickly hauled the pretending unconscious Kiop off the table. Please help me drag her to the car, Brother Lysander. Kiop's life is completely in your hands. After dropping that dramatic line, the entire squad vanished instantly. Not a single friend stayed behind. The car pulled up to the mansion, and I had Clementine help carefully carry her inside. It took a ridiculous amount of effort to finally lay her onto the bed. Just as I turned to leave, Calliope suddenly grabbed onto my hand. I looked back and watched as the tips of her ears slowly and dramatically turned crimson. I simply wanted to lift her head for a pillow. In doing so, my lips accidentally brushed right up against hers. You and I felt that too, right? Calliope's entire body completely froze. Calliope, I softly called her name. The person pretending to be Camos on the bed showed absolutely zero reaction. I smirked, stood up, and casually walked away. Calliope frantically messaged the chat. Guys, he literally kissed me. The group chat instantly erupted into pure chaos. No way. Wait, seriously? Calliope smirked brightly at her glowing screen. Yep, he even whispered my name. His voice sounded so amazing. After a brief moment of silence, Penelope replied, Sister Calliope, you are beyond saving. Is that it? Then what? Where is the rest of this incredibly spicy plot development? I will totally pay for a premium subscription, you know, Calliope. Then he just left Penelope. There is no way, sis. We literally agreed on the forced romance strategy. Calliope typed, he kissed me first. You call that forced romance, Penelope? Even if one kiss counts as forced romance, that was brother-in-law forcing it on you, Calliope. Yep, Calliope, exactly. It felt pretty amazing, Penelope replied. I cannot communicate with you anymore. Me neither. A week later, the club was absurdly busy because Calliope rented the entire venue, dropping a massive mountain of cash for a grand, epic confession setup. When she finally invited me, she claimed it was just a play directed by Penelope and Thaddeus. I saw right through that terrible lie but did not expose her. Calliope and her squad came around here frequently. Even though she did not know me, I had actually noticed her plenty of times. Manager boss, regarding that day off you mentioned earlier. Have you picked a date yet? Do you need a second, 2 seconds? The entire world suddenly fell completely silent. So what do you and I make of this? I turned to Kaylee and confessed. I've seen you here before. Stick with me here. He finally admits he has had a massive crush on her for absolute ages. In this fake elite high society world, finding someone truly genuine is impossible. She is basically a rare unicorn. She actually risked everything to help a part-time waiter, even willingly covering the costs when someone else got unfairly targeted. He loves her because she is profoundly wonderful at her core. But he wants a real relationship, not just casually chatting and eating fancy dinners together at the exclusive club. He truly hopes they can always lift each other up forever. You feel that, right? He wants them to become each other's ultimate strength, finding pure courage whenever they face those totally impossible hurdles. Real romance is about so much more than daily routines. It requires a deep spiritual connection, and Calliope is exactly that perfect person for him. He would have confessed first anyway. That exact same night, Calliope happily drops a massive 9-photo dump right onto her social media story, totally showing off her brand new relationship. Every single picture is a disgustingly cute selfie of them together. The caption, "My hubby has been plotting to win my heart." They could not care less about the crazy notifications going off. Trust me, you and I absolutely love seeing them this happy. Calliope says, "Hubby, close your eyes and focus."